Okay, we're gonna discuss Soto's model, and if we talk about what we want economic growth, and there are several approaches to do that. The one that really focus on for so long a time in this class is Keynes. Okay, for Keynes, the idea is quite simple. You want economic growth, you want to increase your income, you want to increase production, increase employment, increase consumption. Okay. For ordinary people, you're going to increase consumption, and then for government, increase government expenditure. And so if you look at the situation now in China, what happens? The economic is not in a good situation. And the reason is people do not consume. Okay? And why people do not consume is a lot of reasons. One of it is the housing market is not good. And basically that's one of your savings. Okay? If housing is not good, it means your property, your wealth is going down. And because of that, people tend not to consume as much as they like. And also because the housing market is not good, construction, a lot of materials, a lot of demand is not going up, it's going down. And also because of that, the whole market is turning downside. And so people worry about deflation, okay, deflation. And so anyway, that's a different situation, okay. So how Soto's model different from Keynes? Keynes started from aggregate expenditure, C plus I plus G plus X minus M, right? From the demand side. And Soto, it starts from production function. Okay. So what's the production function? So F, okay. Sorry. So income is equal to F, okay, L, K, and A. So basically, when we talk about microeconomics, what we have is F, okay, Q, right? Q is the production volume is equal to F LK, okay? And what we usually do is that we say, capital is fixed, okay? Because at any given economy, okay, you have certain amount of capital. So generally, we can simplify it as Q is equal to F L, okay? And if we look at the production function, the total product curve, then you have this is L, and this is Q, and this is FL, okay? That is the way we look at it, because at that time, we believe every economy has only a fixed amount of capital. And so we can turn that into short-term production, okay? When we have short-term production, generally we ignore capital here. And so what is the slope, okay? What is the slope of the production function or this total product curve? Okay, total product curve. We generally call TP total product. Okay, 总生产. Okay. So, Liu Weijun, what is the slope of this production function? What is that? So this is total product. What about this? What kind of product is that? Slope is differentiation, right? What is differentiation? Excuse me? Hongjian. Yes, exactly. So what is that? Differentiation. Okay. So what would be that? So this is total product, right? The total production. And what about here? Is a slope, right? Tangent to the production function, to the production curve, right? So what is that? Exactly. Okay, so that's we call marginal product. And so that's marginal product of labor. Okay? Okay, so what's the difference here? In Solo's idea, okay, of course we have labor, we have capital, and what is A? A is a technical factor, okay, technical factor. So in his opinion, if you're going to have economic growth, there are several ways to have economic growth. First, you have labor, okay, you get more people, right? Then, of course, you're going to get more productivity, right? And more economic growth. Also, if you have more capital, right? More machine, more equipment, right? So then, of course, again, you're going to have more economic growth. What about A? So what is A? It's this is a technical factor. What does that mean? That means you have better technology. Okay, for example, right? Now you can see a lot of people are using AI, right? You use AI in your production, and this is not shown in L. Okay, right? So, for example, in the 1990s, we have internet, okay? And internet brings a lot of productivity growth. And then in 21st century, we have cellular phone, right? Smartphone. So in the past, if you want to get taxi, what do you need to do? You have to go out the street, right? Wave at taxi, and what you need to do now? You have a cell phone, you can call someone to give you a ride, okay? The same thing, you have Food Panda, right? You have Uber Eats. So in the past, you have to call the restaurant, okay? Or, McDonald's, Burger King's, whatever, right? And then, but if they don't have, delivery service, you are out, right? And now you have cell phones. So this is kind of increase in productivity, okay? So basically, there are three sources of economic growth. Labor, more people, more immigrants, okay? So Trump is really stupid, right? Because what did he do to immigrants? Get them out. Actually, at this point, America labor market is short of labor. Whether it's in the farm market, in the agriculture, in the industrial production, everything. They are short of labor, but he is doing the wrong thing. And capital is easier, okay? You have to have machine, equipment, all these things. Okay, and then see how we're gonna deal with it, okay? So now, we differentiate this production function with respect to t. Okay, so dt dy, okay, is equal to, okay, so if you have this one, right? So, for example, say fx, okay? And then you're gonna have, differentiate this one. Okay, basically what you need to get, if you're gonna differentiate this, right, because you have three variables, L, K, and A. So basically what you're gonna have dt, okay, df, and dt, sorry, let me get this. dl, dt, dl. Basically this is what you're gonna get when you use differentiation, because you have three variables, okay? So first of all, you have to differentiate, okay, the production function to L, and then again the labor differentiate with respect to T, okay? So anyway, this one will not be in the test, but just believe me, or you can check your calculus textbook about how to operate all these. And then you have dk, df, dt, dk, and then dA, df, okay, and then dt, dA. Okay, any questions? Any questions? So first of all, we differentiate the production function with respect to t, okay? And this is what you get, okay? And what is this? Okay, so we change this notation, okay? We change that to, anyway, we're gonna do that later. So we're gonna change the notation a little bit later. And so what is this? This is MPL. But we put it as F sub L, okay? And then here you have dt, dl, okay, so basically this is MPL, okay, the marginal product of labor. This is MPK, okay, marginal product of capital, and this is MPA, marginal product of technical factors, okay? And then what we're gonna have? We divided the whole thing by Y, okay, so here is going to be Y, and then dy dt, okay? And then this is gonna be, okay, some more changes, okay? So here you will be Y FL times L, and then L, here you have dL dt. Okay, basically what do? We divide the whole equation with Y, okay? And so here you divide it by Y, and then you times L and divide by L, okay? So here what you have? You get the same thing here. So L and L could be canceled out, okay? And then Y d, sorry, this is Fk times K, and then K dk dt, and then plus Y, and then here you have Fa times A, here you have A, and then dA dt, okay. In terms of economics, when you do the algebra, do the mathematics here, usually there is a little manipulation, okay? The purpose is to get what we really want, okay? And so then let us change the notation a little bit, okay? So let dy dt, okay, be y dot. Okay, so what is this? This is income, right? Production level. And this is time. T is time, okay? So as time goes by, there will be changes in production, okay? As time goes by, there will be change in production. So what is this? this is economic growth. Okay, so G, right? G is growth. So what is that? It is YT minus YT minus 1 divided by YT minus 1, right? So this is the changes, right? This is the changes in GDP, right? Changes in GDP divided by the past year GDP. What you get? You get growth rate. So as time goes by, this is the growth rate. Of course, you can be positive when it's economic growth. If it is negative, it's economic recession. Okay? Okay, so then what else are we going to get? So what is this? Okay? What is this? This is actually, okay? This is actually elasticity, okay? Elasticity of L, okay? And here it is actually what? Elasticity of K. And here is elasticity of A. So we can simplify it again to get something like this. Y, okay? Y dot is equal to EL times LL dot, okay? Plus, okay? Here you have EK, elasticity of capital, and here is K dot, plus EA, and then A dot. So later on we're going to show this is elasticity, but let us first look at what the idea that Solow has in his mind. So as I say, there are three sectors in this economy, okay? Labor, capital, and technical factors, okay? So here you have labor growth, so L dot, right? L dot divided by Y, okay, what you get? Sorry, L dot divided by L, that's the increase in labor force, okay? Increase, or you say changes, because if it is positive, of course, it's growth. If it is negative, means the labor force is going down, okay? And then here is capital, okay? And then here is the technical factor. So basically, okay, the economic growth comes from labor, capital, and technology, okay? That is a technical technology, whatever it is. And so, from your employment data, you can get to this one, okay? From the population employment data, you can get this one. And then, from the investment of the firms, okay, how much more machinery they get, equipment they get, then here is the information on capital. But this one, okay, it is hard to grab, okay, it's hard to understand it, what is going on here. So this one is called Solow's residual, okay, this one is called Solow's residual. What does that mean? That means for anything that cannot explain by labor, cannot explain by capital, will be called technical factor. And so this is Solow's residual. Okay? It's going to take a while. And because time is almost up, let's take a break.